Look at this. This is a research paper from the University of London, and what it's telling you is going to hurt a little. Diamonds, they have zero actual intrinsic value. That rare gem everyone obsesses over is actually cheap and incredibly common. But wait, if that's true, why is a single carat going for $4,000 today? Is that number just a flat-out lie? Well, today we're talking about the company that literally invented the diamond as we know it. They didn't just find them, they convinced the entire world they were rare, jacked up the prices, and built the biggest cartel in human history. Buckle up, because you're about to see exactly how you create massive value out of thin air.
Hello guys, how's it going? Listen, to the guys watching, you're probably gonna buy a diamond ring at some point. And to the girls, you're definitely expecting one. Weddings lately are getting crazy, right? The standards are through the roof. But here's the kicker. This whole diamond engagement ring thing, it's brand new. The idea that you must give a diamond to propose was manufactured. It was the result of an ad campaign so successful it convinced the entire planet that diamonds are the ultimate symbol of love. It's arguably the most successful lie in history, and it's still running today. Some experts say that if this one specific company didn't exist, a diamond today would be worth about as much as this pen in my hand. So if that's the case, why is it still more expensive than gold? To get the full picture, we've got to rewind to 1867. Picture a farmer in South Africa walking along a river. He looks down and finds a 22-carat diamond just sitting there. In today's money, that's over $1 million. That one find sent shockwaves across the globe. Back then, South Africa was under Dutch and British colonial rule, and suddenly thousands of people from Europe and America were rushing in to dig. Before this, diamonds were only found in Brazil and India in tiny amounts. They were so rare that even kings struggled to find them. So yes, at one point, diamonds were rare. But after 1867, that story changed forever. Among the gold diggers and dreamers was a 17-year-old British kid named Cecil Rhodes. He wasn't a tough guy, he just loved to read. But, spoiler alert, by the time this guy hit 35, he would control 90% of the world's diamond production. 90%! The entire global industry was basically in his pocket. How? Well, what you're about to hear is a masterclass in corruption and creative business. If you want to learn how to be a villain, this is your guy. Rhodes had this obsession with the British upper class. He was a striver, a guy from the bottom who wanted that high society life at any cost. And he didn't exactly take the moral route to get there. While everyone else was digging in the dirt, Rhodes was plotting. He grabbed the mining rights to a place called the De Beers Farm. Keep that name in mind, it's about to become legendary. Okay, quick chemistry class, don't worry, I'm an engineer, I'll make it fast. What is a diamond? It's just carbon, the same stuff that's everywhere. But when carbon is trapped deep underground under insane heat and pressure, the atoms rearrange into a crystal. Then volcanoes blast them up to the surface. So the diamonds are down there. The problem wasn't finding them. The problem for Rhodes was that there were too many of them. In a place called Kimberley, South Africa, they found blue ground, or kimberlite, and man, it was packed with diamonds. Tons of them. In the early 1870s, the price of a diamond crashed from $500 a carat to, get this, 10 cents. It was becoming worthless. So Rhodes made a genius move. He noticed that when it rained, the mines would collapse, killing workers or trapping them. Rhodes bought a water pump, a rare piece of tech back then, and rented it out to mine owners for a fortune. He used that cash to buy out struggling mines until he owned the massive De Beers estate. He founded the De Beers Mining Company and started raking in the cash. Even with all that land, Rhodes knew that if he flooded the market, prices would stay low. He needed to control the world's perception. He got himself into parliament, gained political power, and used it to crush his competition. He used prison labor, and the treatment of black workers back then was horrific. Torture, kidnapping, you name it. But he still wanted more. He reached out to Nathan Rothschild. Yes, those Rothschilds, the family that basically controlled the world's banks. Rhodes pitched him a plan. Let's wipe out every competitor, convince the world diamonds are rare, and set whatever price we want.
Let's talk economics for a second. Usually we have equilibrium, the balance between supply and demand. If a store tries to sell me an iPhone for $2,000, I just go somewhere else because I know what it's worth. But Rhodes realized that if he controlled the entire supply and kept it tiny, the price would skyrocket, regardless of how many diamonds he actually had in the vault. With Rothschild's money, he bought or broke everyone else. He became the prime minister of the Cape Colony. He owned 90% of the world's supply. Now what?
Wait, before we get to the really dark stuff, if you're enjoying this deep dive into how the world is actually run, you should probably join our investigation team. Hit that subscribe button. It's the only way to make sure you're in the loop for the next expose. Rhodes and his partners started hoarding diamonds. They literally stopped mining as much just to create the myth of scarcity. They set up a syndicate in London. If a jeweler wanted diamonds, they had to buy from this syndicate at the syndicate's price. No exceptions, no black market. If you tried to go around them, Rhodes would find out and crush you. He controlled the entire pipeline, from the dirt to the jewelry store. He grew so rich, he literally started his own country, Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe and Zambia. He died in 1902, having reached the high society he dreamed of, but the De Beers empire was just getting started. Enter Ernest Oppenheimer, not the father of the atomic bomb guy, but the king of diamonds. He created the Central Selling Organization, CSL. His rule was simple. If you find a diamond in Africa, you must sell it to us. We set the price, we control the flow. If you try to sell on the side, we have an army, we have investigators, we will end you. This was a textbook cartel. They hid under different names so the public wouldn't realize a single company owned every diamond on Earth. But then, 1929 hit, the Great Depression. Diamonds are a luxury, and when people are starving, they don't buy rocks. Sales in the US plummeted from $83 million to just $5 million. De Beers was bleeding cash because they still had to buy every diamond found globally to keep their monopoly. They were on the brink of collapse.
Here's the plot twist. Oppenheimer sent his son to an American ad agency, NW Air. They needed to turn a want into a need. They started an ad blitz like the world had never seen. They put diamonds in movies, paid celebrities, and even had teachers tell students that a diamond was the only true symbol of love. They even got Marilyn Monroe to sing "Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend." The goal? Link diamonds to the strongest human emotion, love. Make it part of the American dream.
They coined the slogan, "A diamond is forever." Why? Because if people think a diamond is forever, they'll never resell it. If they don't resell it, there's no used market to compete with De Beers' new diamonds. Then they invented the 2-month salary rule. They literally told the public, if you love her, you'll spend 2 months' salary on the ring. It was a genius move to extract the maximum amount of money from both the poor and the rich.
By 1979, sales hit $2.1 billion, a 9,000% increase. They moved into Japan, convincing a culture that never cared about diamonds that they were a tradition. Within 20 years, 60% of Japanese brides had them. And during World War II, they made billions selling diamonds to the Allies for weapons, while allegedly slipping some to the Nazis and Soviets under the table.
In the 1950s, scientists figured out how to make diamonds. Suddenly, De Beers couldn't keep the rarity lie going forever. New mines popped up in Russia, Canada, and Australia. The cost of buying up all that global supply became more expensive than the profit. The monopoly started to crack. In July 2000, De Beers finally gave up the ghost of being a monopoly and rebranded as a luxury brand. Today, the company with a history stained in blood is just another luxury label. But the question remains, what about those rare blue or pink diamonds? Look, some diamonds are actually rare. A red diamond once sold for $880,000. That's a real rarity. But for the vast majority of us, we're paying thousands for a rock that's only expensive because one guy 100 years ago said it should be. The cartel might be gone, but the illusion? That's still very much alive. What do you think? Is your ring worth the 2-month salary? Or did we all just fall for the greatest marketing trick in history? Let me know in the comments.